outliers in your classification?
Yeah. So I'll get to my um, conclusion here, actually.
Okay.
And yeah, you can tune some of these hyperparameters. So like outlier share is an easy one.
Hmm.
So like outliers based on this formula. So if it's like more than, I set it to zero point 0.6. If it's more than zero point 0.6, then that liquidity pool is considered an outlier.
I see.
Okay, okay. And then now I get to my results. I just take the top five liquidity pools by total organic pressure. So
Uh-huh.
that's okay from every formula that that fell into that threshold um, of 95% to 99.99% market maker. What is the total organic pressure of all the organic liquidity pools in there? And I add it all up. So it's a lot of obviously duplicate organic pressure, but it means something because it means this formula was again and again um,
See.
with the good formulas
Hmm.
uh, a leader in organic pressure.
I see.
Um, and
Did
then
you were you also able to like know how many rules fell into that category? Like which gave you between 95% and 99%
how
organic
many formulas
transactions?
fall into that category, you mean?
Yeah, how many formulas
Yeah,
worked?
I have that in my run summary CSV. So I
Okay.
don't have it here. It's not in my report, but it's generated by the code.
Hmm.
Um,
I see.
okay, so and then the top five liquidity pools by outlier frequency. Um, so based on the formula above, um, if it detects a liquidity pool as an outlier, then
Yeah,
that's a hit. And
I see.
it was interesting, the two um, liquidity pools that were actually pump and dumped were the leaders in this category. So
I see.
the results aren't nothing. But it was interesting, like I don't necessarily know how to interpret these results because this one like crushed in both categories.
Hmm.
And this one, like, even though this was the other pump and dump and it was second here, it was fourth here. So like, okay, how do I weigh these?
Maybe, so like as you said, like the top five liquidity pools by total organic pressure, you said like they could contain duplicate organic pressure, right? Because you're basically summing all the liquidity pools which
Yeah,
passed your rules. So maybe
right.
like it could be like there was just more rules which like passed your conditions, like between 95 and 99% for the first liquidity pool. That's why the organic pressure seems more, but it's just like more rules are passing your condition. That could be that. And like I think I also got some outliers sometimes, which are
Mhm.
basically like there was one transaction which was just creating a liquidity pool. So that was a massive transaction, like 79 Solana. And sometimes I don't know why, but like it classified that as a organic transaction, which is not. It's a market maker transaction. So that was one of the outliers. So I was like wondering if that showed up as sometimes like organic transaction for you.
Um, so so what were you saying showed up as organic? Can you repeat your
Uh,
question?
So like in every liquidity pool, where the first transaction is creating the liquidity pool, right?
Mhm.
So that transaction is a market maker transaction that we like obviously know, but sometimes my algorithm would classify that as an organic transaction. I think
Mm.
clustering specifically. Uh, I guess it's not perfect, but like so that's what like some of like it was basically an outlier sometimes. So that's what I'm wondering. Maybe like it showed up as an outlier for you too.
Mm.
I don't know if you were able to look into which specific transaction was classified as organic, and like
Mhm.
then tell okay this specific transaction was an outlier because you get the outlier frequency, but I don't know if you can actually check at the transaction level which transaction is an outlier.
Yeah, that's interesting. I haven't done that at this point just because it would be like
Yeah. But this is pretty interesting, like because you said like the
yeah,
top two liquidity pools by outlier frequency were the
right,
pump and dump liquidity pools,
right.
right?
Yeah.
That collaborates. that's a different way of like proving like okay, these transactions, these liquidity pools had a lot of manipulation.
Right.
But like that kind of like like corroborates both of our findings in like two different
Yeah.
ways, which is really like nice and comprehensive, I think.
Yeah, so I had a few other thoughts uh, in regards to your like false organic transaction. I think even if it was classifying the first transaction, which created the liquidity pool as organic, I don't think it would be meaningful to these results
Yeah.
unless for some reason that that transaction had just a ton of like Solana change, which I don't
Hmm.
think it does.
Yeah.
But but yeah, you're right. It is interesting that, you know, because I was looking at your
Yeah.
results too, and yours also like this was like a big outlier in
Yeah.
yours, whereas this one was
Yeah.
like a little bit less clear. So
Hmm.
I, maybe so my idea, and I write about this in the conclusion, is that um, this liquidity pool had a lot less transactions. Um,
Yeah. Like if you look at the CSV when I like created like different CSVs for different liquidity pools, I
yeah.
think this had like the fewest number of transactions. And the first one had the highest number of transactions. I forget what was the token it was, but the first liquidity pool that we saw had that
Right.
one by far had the maximum number of transactions.
Right, yeah, because I think there were 47,000 total transactions, and this one had 44,000 of those.
Yeah. Yeah.
So so I think both of our methods get better in with how many transactions there are in the liquidity pool,
Yeah.
which makes a ton of sense. I was also thinking about like a third like metric, which would weight these by like total transaction amount. Like
Hmm.
this one being second should should be a lot more meaningful, especially when it's
Yeah.
fourth on this list because of how few
I see.
transactions it's had. But
Yeah. I think that's a good
I wasn't
idea.
exactly sure how to say that or like calculate that.
Yeah. Like the way you could do it if you know the number of transactions in each liquidity pool, and let's just create like a weight based on that. But I think that's a good idea, especially if you want to show like meaningful outlier frequency, because this
Mhm.
one kind of like the liquidity pool, which has more transactions, would kind of like always be on the top. I think that's a good idea.
Right. I think, yeah, it would be
Yeah,
interesting, like if we had
the
data where this was not a successful token, like the one with the most transactions, is it still going
yeah.
to be is it still going to top both my lists? So is it a coincidence or is it meaningful? I don't know. It's hard to say.
Yeah, like once you do weightage, I think that would give you a more clear idea. And
Yeah.
like you said, like your top five liquidity pools by total organic pressure is basically the sum of all the liquidity pools, right? Which fit your organic transaction range. So
Yeah.
if you could somehow like find the total number of rules that were a hit, like that were what you wanted, and divide the total organic pressure by that amount, you could standardize that.
Mm.
So like, you could tell, okay, for like one rule, for each rule, this was the total organic pressure.
Yeah.
I think that could be something that could like standardize all the organic pressure across liquidity pools.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a good idea. And then maybe even divide again by the total number of transactions to have
I
it be
don't think
like,
when you say the total number of transactions, do you mean the total number of transactions across all your rules or just for one specific rule?
um, in the liquidity pool, the total number of transactions. Just because if there's like a million transactions in a liquidity pool, the
Oh,
total
okay, yeah, I
organic
see.
pressure is
Okay.
going to be higher in
Yeah,
general. Yeah.
I see what you mean. Yeah. But I don't know if he wants that because like I just like added all the pressure for each of the transactions. I didn't divide it by the total number of transactions. But
Yeah.
if Bogdan wants that, we could do that as well.
Yeah. Maybe what I can do is I can um, add to my conclusion a little bit and give a little bit
Yeah.
more detailed ideas about um, how to, like you said, standardize based on amount of formulas and maybe
Yeah.
even amount of transactions. So, okay. Yeah, that's a good
Yeah.
idea. I'll
Yeah.
look
And
into
like
that.
yeah. And like I think at this point, like you don't have to necessarily do all the calculations. As long as you just put in like, okay, this is like my one of the some of the things that we could do.
Yeah.
That should be good enough, I think.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, that's true. Okay. I will definitely work on that and
Great.
and edit it in the coming weeks. Do you know like um did he have it has he said anything about the money laundering stuff, or is that still a work in progress, or
Yeah, I think that's still a work in progress. I don't have a lot of details on it, but
yeah.
I think he's still in the process of kind of like creating the code base and everything.
Okay, which is fine.
Yeah,
I'm still kind of wrapping this up anyway.
yeah.
Uh, yeah,
But
the other thing.
he did say it will use some clustering approaches, machine learning clustering approach.
Okay, yeah, that'll be interesting. Um,
Mm.
um, so the other thing I wanted to talk to you about is our presentation for the conference.
Yeah, so I think after our talk with Bogdan, we can create a canvas. So like so we'll know like what the recommendations and everything are. And then we can do like create the poster basically for the presentation after that.
So we also have to create a poster.
I think so. Professor Zoro would know.
Yes. Just a page that I could have printed.
Okay. Yeah, we can do that. I mean, I think we both have a lot of visuals and stuff to
Yeah.
put on a poster, so I think that shouldn't be too bad. Um, for our presentation, um, yeah, I
Talk about
mean,
15 minutes.
15
15?
minutes, so
So
we
I
can
would
kind
say
of give some background.
10-minute presentation and 5-minute questions or less.
Yeah.
Okay.
So yeah, we can give some background and then we can each talk about our
Mm,
approaches, I guess.
Correct.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think it would be so like we will only use the poster and no slideshow.
Correct.
Okay. Yeah, so I
Wait,
think
that's so we're not creating a slideshow, Professor?
No, you are. You have a
wait,
Okay,
presentation.
okay, sorry. I misheard.
so both
Um,
poster and slideshow.
yeah, the
Yeah.
poster is going to be. I'm going to have it printed and put it a little bit everywhere
Okay.
around, right? So
Okay.
that at the
Yeah.
time of whenever you're discussing, for example, when at some point you're going to you're going to be in a discussion with someone, right? They're going to want to know
Mm,
more about the project. What we found last time, it's easier for you to say, "Hey, come over, let me show you," so you could stay in front of the poster and explain better this way.
see.
Because we're going to have the morning is presentation, the afternoon is pure networking.
Mhm. Okay, cool.
Sounds good.
Yeah, I guess, one of us can create that. Um,
Yeah.
maybe if you
So
could,
like after a call with Bogdan, I'll share like I've created a poster before. So I'll share
uh,
like a Canvas link or something and then we can both edit on there. Um
okay.
yeah. Yeah.
Okay. Um, yeah, that sounds good. And I'll text you my email and maybe you could just like create a Google Slides just so we could work on it. Um,
Yeah. Sounds good.
yeah,
Hey
yeah, I
guys,
think that's pretty much it.
you could stop sharing the screen. Okay, so let's do that. And I'll
All
be in
right.
touch. So make sure so I guess you're confirming you're going to be both presenting. Take a look at the timing and everything else.
Yeah.
And
I think we are at 11:45, I think.
yeah,
Yeah.
we have 15
Yeah,
minutes.
something like that.